but I mean, I hate Calvinism and like some other stuff he believes in, but
Well, I mean, if it makes you feel any better, Calvinism hates you as well.
yeah, pretty much.
So at least it's a mutual hatred.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Um,
I just have a question about the Trinity, real quick. Do you hold that Christ was the Messiah, a man who was exalted by God, or that uh, Jesus is sort of born but is God at the same time? Or is it just another title that God goes by?
It's another title. It's
So,
just
oh, okay. So is it
dual
modalism?
existences. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, yeah. So you would deny the pre-existence of Christ. It would seem like.
Yeah, like to me, the word Jesus just means salvation, and salvation didn't come about 2,000 years ago. So, but you would say he's pre-existent, though. I mean, I have no beef with people that believe that. I just think it's faulty in certain ways.
Yeah, we can definitely discuss that in the debate whenever we have that. I don't know if I want to do it on modern day debate. We could just do it on my channel
Yeah, I don't feel like
because
going to
there.
get the little bots on there.
Well, that I'm just like with the atheists. It's mostly atheists who watch that channel, and they're going to be like, "Oh, whose Sky Daddy is better?" Basically.
It's what I mean. They're like little bots on there. Like all they do is just troll and stuff, and I'm not really into that right now either.
Yeah.
yeah, I can
Uh,
see.
it's okay to be heretic though. Oh, have you seen John Singleton? He used to be Anchored Alliances. He became like anti-Trinitarian. Like I get that we have a big difference, obviously, but you're not hostile. We're not
No.
calling each other like, "Oh, you're going to hell for denying the Trinity," or
Yeah,
for
this is not a salvation issue. And where does in the scripture it says if you have to know how God, his nature or whatever, where does it say that in the scripture? Like you're going to be judged on that? No, it's like, I mean, no one can to me, no one can fully understand that. I mean, even oneness. I mean, I'm saying even oneness believers don't even know that.
Well, I definitely think I definitely think historically the Trinity is orthodox, and I definitely think church history confirms the Trinity and so on.
Yeah, I might dispute that, though, but that'll be another time for another debate.
Well, yeah, I don't want to do a debate on church history and the Trinity, but I definitely think, historically speaking, the church fathers and the church has held to it. Now, I'm not going for a genetic fallacy and saying, well, therefore it is the case, and therefore Unitarianism is false because it's not, what the church has held to. But
I don't hate the Trinity. I just think it's faulty. Especially I don't hate Trinitarians because they're my brother, and so I mean, I don't, go down that avenue at all. So
yeah, I don't hate Unitarians because I don't think Christ would. Yeah,
no,
everything biblical. John Singleton definitely his like Prius has better responses to some of the texts than with the Father is greater than I. Like
yeah,
he has some pretty bad responses, John Singleton. I
I
think
remember.
he either closed his Discord server or just banned a bunch of people because I tried messaging him and it said I was banned. So
wow, I never heard of this guy.
he was the open theist I debated.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
What were you gonna say, Brass?
Oh, I was gonna say I remember like since Praise referenced it with my video on slavery, I always typically find that atheists would they'll always point out that one passage where they'll say, "Well, look, this differentiates between servanthood and slaves," and I'm saying, yeah, it does differentiate, but not between servants and slaves. It differentiates between servants who have a fixed time, like that they're going to get out, and servants that don't. And just
Yeah,
because the time is not specifically given doesn't mean they're never getting out.
right. And I think they're trying to make the word slavery taboo today. and they don't understand the context of it. You know, I went through this with Digital Hammurabi and all those guys. So yeah, I went through all that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's ridiculous to really get on the lack of freedom in the ancient Near East when basically in the ancient Near East, no one, like, only the gods were considered free.
What's going on with Non Sequitur Show, guys? Like, I hear there's some big beef going on there.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, Kyle from the Non Sequitur Show, he shut out Steve McRae from the channel. He took over the PayPal, the Steam Labs, everything, and he's hoarding all the money.
That's hard to believe. You know, I thought those guys were close.
Yeah, I'm going to stay neutral on this because I don't want to say anything I don't know enough about. So.
Yeah, and there's $40,000.
Wow.
I mean, I could use that for my college debt, but no, it's not my business.
Well, your show could get that big, though.
$40,000 to it.
Huh? Oh, yeah, I can just add my $3.76 from Google AdSense. Not $376, but $3.76.
Yeah, just wait. If you keep working at it hard enough, JMD, one day you'll be able to buy yourself a pizza.
Well, I haven't heard that one before. Well, I have well, I'm not going to spell how much I have on Patreon, but I have enough to buy a pizza for Patreon, so.
Lovely.
Wow, like Steve's getting set. I mean, they're setting him out. I don't understand. Maybe, who knows?
Well, I mean, Steve always has had he's like me. He's an asshole. But
sounds about right.
I mean, people get offended. Like, I remember this one person on Twitter. He had said said, "You're an asshole," and I said, "Yeah, in the sky is blue. Isn't it fun to point out the obvious?" It's like, oh wait, no, I said no. I said, oh yeah, and water is wet. Isn't it great to point out the obvious? It's like
you're definitely a character, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I get all the time on there, because I especially have been defending Steve McRae because I do believe he's being ripped off.
Yeah.
And it's underhanded tactics. I mean, I'm not sure, like I told JMD, I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, I have an idea why Kyle might be doing that, but I'm not going to say for certain because I don't have the evidence.
Well, I don't even want to comment on that because I don't have enough info.
Well, Aaron Raw is kind of against Steve too because of the definition of atheism or whatever.
I just love how they flip out over each other. It's almost like when they try pointing out, oh, look, church denominations disagree with each other on things. Just like, at least there's multiple things we disagree on, but when it comes to one definition, they flip their crap.
They do.
It's hysterical. And like the whole thing with rationality rules, like the atheist community of Austin basically dispels him as a heretic.
Yeah.
I just find it funny.
Tribal atheists.
I asked Steve this. Can you really ever think of a time with Christian YouTubers where they've ever had like a big schism because of political differences and stuff like that? And Steve said, "No, I personally haven't, and I've been on here for a couple years." I mean, I have some psychological reasons why that could be the case. It's because Christians have a shared story that binds them.
Yeah.
While atheists don't. You can have a very conservative or liberal Christian friend, and you may disagree with each other on everything, but you guys still have that shared story.
Yeah.
Like with Jesus and stuff.
I think you're right.
What the heck is IP debating Aaron Ron?
Is Christianity dangerous? If you watch any of Aaron Ross' street preaching videos where he's like arguing with, I think deliberately arguing with people who aren't familiar with apologetics.
Eric Hovind, I've seen that one.
Well, not just that one, just any of them, where he literally uses, when it comes to Christian theology, like Oh my goodness, it's one of those things where you just want to saw your ears off or something.
Yeah, he's a Dunning-Kruger for sure.
Just remember, man, like apparently, like according to R and Raw, that you shouldn't be eating shellfish now.
True.
He doesn't
I'm like-
understand the law. I mean, it's so stupid.
I mean, atheists are like,
Well, even though this isn't necessary to use with how it's described in the Old Testament, those fish or scallops or whatnot in that area, I believe, would be bottom feeders and very unhealthy.
That's the point. Yeah, there's sins against your health, not your soul. Nowhere did God say it's a sin against your soul. I went through this in the other ones. The abomination has nothing to do with your soul.
You have the whole covenant part too, but for health reasons, it's actually very important for that area. I mean, obviously, you can go to Red Lobster and eat down as much as you want because they properly prepare it.
Well, I remember what was so funny about this is like how they bring up how petty God is, petty Yahweh is, because like he says he's a jealous God. And they'll say, Yahweh gets really on to idol worshiping and stuff like that. I said, you don't realize why that Yahweh against worshiping. It's because the gods that these idols don't exist.
Right.
And basically Yahweh, like basically one of the morals of the Bible is you are what you worship. If you're worshiping a dumb, sightless, blind, mute statue.
Yeah, Psalm. What Psalm is that?
What?
Because how you're describing that's literally like Psalm something. How it describes the idols as lifeless, basically.
Yeah, I mean they don't exist. I mean I'm not going to say they don't exist per se, because I do believe that God does. I mean, I believe the Bible does teach that there are spiritual beings like the
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't want to say maybe they don't exist, but they definitely don't. They're not worthy of worship like Yahweh.
Well, they don't exist in the form of Baal or whatnot.
Oh yeah, like that.
Well, you were learned in the biblical. You have biblical skills there, Brass. Impressive, man. And one of the most I've seen for a while.
Well, JMD knows me perfectly for a long time. He knows my story.
Yeah.
Like,
good.
When I was a Christian, I got really in depth with the Bible.
Wow.
So,
I can see that.
Yeah. You still need to drop legend theory and just become Christian.
Yeah.
When you
you come over our brethren, Brass, man. We're waiting for you, brother.
Don't worry. I'm also waiting on you guys to become deists.
Is there a deist Bible?
Oh yeah, that's called the Jefferson Bible.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, I think Jefferson identified as a Christian per se, but not.
He was a Unitarian.
Yeah. He was a heretical Christian. You could say, like some of the founding fathers were.
We hope you don't go down Skylar's path, because he was a deist too. Now he's a hardcore, atheist.
Lack of belief atheist.
Yeah, like a believer.
Which is even worse. I mean, that's the worst thing you can be, is a lack of belief atheist.
Or you could just be a rock and still be an atheist.
Well, here's what's funny. I mean, I've been trying to get into the habit of not even calling them atheists, but just calling them lack theists.
That's
because because like I actually, since I have read like Graham Opie,
yeah, he's a smart dude.
Yeah,
Michael. He's a philosopher of religion, but
Yeah, Michael Tooley, and so a lot of these. Oh, Schollenberg. After reading some of these philosophers and stuff, I have a bit of respect for atheist philosophy. I just I'm becoming to the point where I don't even want to call YouTube atheist because I just have too much respect for the philosophy.
Yeah.
So I mean, they'll say, "Oh, well, you just hate atheism." No, I'm saying I respect atheism so much that I refuse to call posers atheist.
Well, we both use for our videos dealing with lack of belief atheists, I'm pretty sure we both use the same article by Paul Draper on Encyclopedia of Philosophy.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's plenty of definitions you can go into, and the whole lack of belief is stupid. I mean, here's what I've always found funny, and I'll argue with people. It's like, I don't mind a change in definitions. Like, if your position literally, if like the definition of your position has problems and, you know, it needs to be modified a bit, then, you know, I don't mind that. But here's the thing. Whenever you're modifying a word or your position, it's usually because you want it to be better. And the lack of belief is worse on every conceivable ground than the traditional one. I mean, if they want to change the definition of atheism, you think they would go the extra mile and make it better?
Yeah, and JMD makes a good point that it's unfalsifiable. I mean, you can't even test it, and it has no I mean, it has no basis in any type of being verifiable. So.
Well, I remember it was
it's clearly just an argument from incredulity, and
right.
Well, I mean,
God doesn't exist because I'm not convinced. Because that's they're usually say there is no evidence for God, and then they don't even know half the arguments.
That's an argument from ignorance. I haven't seen the evidence, therefore there is no evidence.
Well, that, and then they're argue from their opinion, which would be an argument from incredulity. I'm pretty sure, therefore, there is no evidence for God when they try and back up that pretty big claim.
Well, I mean, if you say, you know, there is no evidence for God, that is a claim.
It is.
What if we reverse that around, though? If we just say we have a lack of belief in atheism, so therefore we're theists.
I won't go that route because
that
would just be shifting the burden proof.
It's just stupid. I mean, I just think, like, I wouldn't mind them changing the definition. I always say is like, in philosophy, you know, there's multiple definitions of determinism. You really have to.
You keep breaking up.
Oh, I think I know. My finger hit the button.
Are you doing like the thing where you push to mute?
Yeah. Basically, trying to think. Now, man, I lost my train of thought. Where was I at?
Oh, the railroad station. Your train of thought? Yeah. Is that what you're trying to get?
The what?
Never mind. It was just another bad joke.
Oh, yeah. I mean, oh, now I remember what it was.
You broke up again.
Oops.
Yeah, we could see you.
All right, back. I don't know, something's wrong with my phone, maybe. But, yeah, with determinism, like, philosophers debate it, like, the terminology behind it, but generally the whole purpose of
there it goes again.
Come to a definition is just so they can have the best definition. It's not like they're not like making the definition worse just for political gain, like how atheists are doing.
Yeah.
But you know, if everything needs a cause, and
that sounds like a broken record there.
Well, literally, Godless Engineer, who wasn't Godless Engineer, asked who designed the designer. I was just like, this can't be Godless Engineer. And it wasn't.
Did you guys watch that debate last night?
You mean the one
with who?
Godless Engineer and Ken Hovind.
Oh. Yeah, honestly, I just found it humorous. Yeah, it was. With how he would be like, Pangea is a stupid idea. And for a while, Godless Engineer was muted, I think, and then he was unmuted, and out of nowhere he's like, Pangea is not a stupid idea, because you know when I looked it up on the Googles, and you know good research skills, I'm sure he does that with his Jesus mythicism. But I was talking to myself. Oh, rationality, yeah. Either Rationality Rules or Rational Wiki.
No, Rational Wiki. That's his source.
Rational Wiki. I mean, it's a pretty good source when you think about it, right? Or am I just
not
another
rational at all?
But yeah, he was just cussing last night, cussing a storm. Like, I mean, even James was like, "Wow, like he's cussing there," and then he started drinking beer and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes I sort of feel bad for James with some of the people he has on. Like, I think the Raging Atheist versus Matt Powell debate is a pretty good example of that, because Raging Atheist would be cussing up a storm, and you hear James in the background trying to be like, can we try and refrain? Okay.
I just debated him a few days ago. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, he annoys me.
Yeah, he's all right. I don't know what to think. I mean, I think he's nice to me, so I mean, I respect that. So.
Well, I remember. Oh yeah, I remember you guys debated on why are like theists and atheists such bad debaters.
Yeah. And I brought up like
And you both
in the
proved
ballot
that
box.
atheists and theists are bad debaters.
Yeah. And I said they the ballot box, they always lose in the ballot box, so therefore they suck at debates. I brought that argument up.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know what to think of Numasaki. That's the name he goes by, I'm pretty sure. And he gets PO'd at people who don't call him that.
You mean Yamasuchi? Yeah.
Yeah, Numasaki Numasuchi.
Yeah, he's not really like a good debater per se, but he goes off emotions and stuff, and I think that's where people are, they like that or whatever. So
Yeah, so
Well,
coffee
it's called
spot.
emotional manipulation. It's what cult leaders do.
yeah.
Yeah, scholar fiction. I was hoping he wanted to do a double debate between me and IP and him and Dr. Josh, but
That would have been bad news for them.
well, IP didn't want to do it because he was like, Dr. Josh is a scholar and so on. She's like, fair enough.
He's not. I mean, he's a liberal scholar, so I'll just give him that. But he's not by no means a mainstream scholar. He has no credentials in that that line of profession.
When it comes to moral and ethical debates, I'm more of doing the discussions and formal debates, while more propositional stuff, I think the formal debates are more, because when you're discussing morality, it's not just like you're presenting a set of premises and a conclusion. It's like you're talking about real things that go on, and I think it's more on a personal level than just debate
so you're saying
propositions and so on.
So you're saying Christian apologetic arguments aren't about real things that are going on?
Well, I think no, that's not what I was saying. But anyway, now I lost my train of thought. Thank you, Mr. Brass.
I'm telling you, Brass should debate Josh. I'll bet you money right now that Brass would whip his butt on the slavery. I guarantee you would. I bet money on it.
I respect Dr. Josh, so I take it more seriously, I guess.
Yeah.
They're actually going to be debating capturing Christianity coming up here too.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
On what?
There's going to be 2-on-2. So capturing Christianity is the moral or the evil, the problem of evil. So
that will be quite interesting.
Only if you were in that one, JMD, that would have been game over.
What's funny is that they don't like both Digital Hammurabi and Scholar. They're both subjectivists. So really, what's their real grounding for saying something is evil?
Well, they're not going to say that.
They're
going to say, well, it's dependent. It's dependent. Oh, socialist is in the chat. Whoever socialist is, I don't know who that is.
No, but, I know his argument. What he's saying is he'll use our standard against us. Like
yeah. Logically, you could say, well, okay, what if, even though you think Christianity teaches this, really there's no problem. It would be internal consistency. But of course, I'm not going to say God actually supports slavery and so on, because I think there's more historical stuff with that. And the New Testament is somewhat important because, there's neither Jew nor Greek who are, slave to sin, but, free in Christ and so on.
I mean, and what's funny is like they never go into the fact that how
I think I'm pretty sure Scholar Fiction is pro-choice.
Of course, he's an atheist.
Oh, my bad. Pro-life. Yeah, no, he's pro-life. I didn't want to say.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, that's why I think he ends up being more consistent with Ken McCracken's comment there.
I mean, most atheists I know are pro-choice, but I am a part of 2 secular pro-life groups that are led by atheists. So yeah, not all.
Yeah.
Anyone know linear approximations? Oh, that sounds like algebra 2. But that was not a fun class, especially the teacher I had.
Probably seen Fisher and Brass there for a second.
Yeah. What I plan on doing maybe one day is just having dyeing my hair, my real hair,
Gray,
and just having me on there in the straight jacket and stuff, just so even if my camera cuts out on there and I come up, it's hey, look, nothing changed.
I could definitely see you doing something like that.
You should have IP tomorrow, JMD.
IP tomorrow? Oh.
Yeah, have him as a guest host because we're debating the IP of Tulip.
Yeah, I saw that in our private chats. Yeah, I don't think he'll be interested in code modding. I saw him code mod a debate on Modern Day Debate, and he looked so bored.
Yeah, and he couldn't say anything. It's like he wanted to say something.
But I don't know.
I could code mod on something.
Who's co-modding tomorrow? Is this you, JMD, or what?
Oh yeah, it's just going to be us 3 probably. Maybe Mokentheism because he did help moderate one of your guys' last debates.
That's cool.
Oh, I know who you could debate, JMD.
Who?
Stephen Powell.
Stephen Powell?
Yeah.
I have no clue who that is.
Not Stephen Powell. Matt Powell.
Oh. Yeah, I talked to him one time. I just don't think they're debatable. It would honestly just be a waste of time.
I mean, you can have a debate over whether or not gays should be killed in the modern day, based on the Bible.
Yeah, I would just say, well, then everyone needs to be killed, basically, because that was sort of the whole point of the Mosaic covenant, that no one could be perfect.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it would really fix the overpopulation problem that pro-choicers keep telling me about.
Well, or we could just go with your meteor plan.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that always works, too.
Meteor plan.
Vote for Giant Meteor of Death 2020.
And don't say movie title was around brass. Because his mind is fixated on jokes like that. Like a Deep Impact. Oh, that's my favorite porn movie. Just well. Did
you hear what happened?
What?
RC, last time we talked, he converted me to the woman preacher thing. I no longer believe that women should be preaching.
Oh, we just didn't
believe that already.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, that's just because I hate women.
The Trinity is next, and then your theology will be consistent because you'll be a Molinist and a Trinitarian.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, I can't say you can't because we've already proven it. So yeah, I'll have to see.
Oh, we need a quadrinitarian.
Or a half-atarian.
A quadrinitarian where they basically just believe God split into 4 beings, has 4 persons.
Well, yeah, there's a distinction between being and person.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wonder who would be the 4th one.
I don't think there would be a 4th one because God is, I would argue, is triune in his special revelation.
Is it logically possible for there to be 4 self-existent beings, JMD? I mean, can you argue? Is it logically possible?
Epistemically, sure, but if we're talking about like if God is necessary and he's three persons in one being, then no. But since we're talking about human epistemology, then anything. Well, I don't want to say anything is possible because I hold the laws of logic and so on. But yeah, it could be possible. But I would just say, well, it depends on God's special revelation because I don't think you get God's triune nature from any sort of general revelation or natural theology.
Yeah, but who would be omniscient? So you would have four omniscient beings? I mean, that would make no sense to me.
It would make, although it would make getting pizza.
Well, I would say it's ad hoc and unnecessary because that's almost like the polytheistic objection to the cosmological argument. You know, why can't it be a council of gods or whatnot? One would be sufficient enough to explain. But I believe there are three omniscient persons because they all have the essence of God. But yet are all equally God because they have the essence of God.
Just remember, according to Matt Dillahunty, originally, like the Kalam cosmological argument was basically, what caused God, but they had to change it to what began to exist.
Are you referencing my video?
No, it's the.
Did you see my?
I sent you a message about it where I posted on Twitter about it where I showed Matt Dillahunty's a lying piece of garbage.
Well, did you see my video on that?
I think so.
Literally, when he started explaining that, I put up a subtitle right over him that said "made up BS" for like 30 seconds. And then when Braxton Hunter calls him out on it, and then he literally gives 5 different excuses and 5 different things where he gives his apparent sources. Oh, I was taught that way, or that's how theologians came up with it originally. I played the clip from Infinity, or you should choose your words more carefully. Right before Thanos kills Loki.
It's stupid because the Kalam cosmological argument, it basically is like a child of Aristotle's prime mover argument, which never argued that everything that existed needed a cause.
I mean, clearly that is the case, though, because Matt Dillahunty says it. So.
Yeah, I mean, like seriously, I literally challenged them. Please find me one theologian over these past, or philosopher over the last these thousands of years that have ever said that everything needs a cause.
Oh, I point that out in my video because no theologian is going to argue like Thomas Aquinas because his second or third way basically argues from efficient causes that there's a line of efficient causes and you can't go back for an actual infinite, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're always specifying what they exactly mean.
Kalam doesn't get you to God. I actually deal with that objection in my top 10, dealing with the top 10 objections to Kalam cosmological video by making logical deduction about what the cause would be. Because we know God by what he is not. And he's not made up of time, space, and matter. If time, space, and matter had a beginning, which is the whole point of the Kalam, then this cause would have to cause that. And then you can get into free agency and so on, why the cause would have to be personal. And I would say good reasons for why God would be personal in the sense of conscious, not the theistic type personal, because the Kalam is compatible with deism, obviously. I would say the fact that God chooses to create anything at all means he would be personal, but that's a more theological point, I guess.
Non-contingent, yeah.
Well, that's the contingency argument there.
But they go hand in hand, though. You have to admit,
I mean, what was funny is that, the stupid thing that they always say about is how, the contingency argument commits the fallacy of composition.
I thought they always use that with the Kalam.
They do both.
Yeah.
But I mean, even with the Kalam, it doesn't work because you can make the argument, you can bite the bullet and say it is compositional, or it isn't, but you could say it is, but it's a valid form of composition.
Yeah, you could say that too.
Yeah, because, for example, if you said that because every brick in a Lego wall is 3 inches long, therefore the entire
the
wall
wall
is
is 3 inches long.
therefore, that would be a fallacy. However, if you said
Yeah.
because every brick in the Lego wall is red, therefore the whole wall is red, that makes sense. Like that's not fallacious.
Yeah,
Um,
coffee smug. I wouldn't say that the claw proves all of God's characteristics. That's why you take the cumulative case where the ontological argument would get you those properties, but the whole coffee smug argument, the whole Kalam argument gets you a first cause, personal agent cause who is timeless, spaceless, and material, so on. And powerful, basically, which
impersonal.
is starting to sound like God, which is the whole point. And then you get to the fine tuning, moral, and all these other arguments. Okay, I'm interested in what you're saying here, JMD. Oh, please explain why it can't be personal and keep God's supreme sovereignty. Maybe there's a misunderstanding because when did God's supreme sovereignty, get into this? So I guess I would need clarification on that question. Okay, the atheist could grant the Kalam and have a being who is timeless, spaceless, all the characteristics I mentioned before.
And be the flying
You,
spaghetti monster.
yeah, yeah. If you want to be an atheist towards an omni god, then perhaps. But I don't think. Like, if you want to say if you want to say you're an atheist, but then hold that there's this being who exists basically transcendent to the universe and gives order to it and so on, or it causes it, you could say, that would be deism. You could say you're an atheist. I would just say you're inconsistent.
Although there is one little stupid thing I want people to stop saying is like I mean, I even see deists doing it where they make this distinction between deism and theism. But no, deism is theism. Theism is the broad worldview that God exists. Deism is just a specific type of theism.
Yeah. Well, if you just define theism as belief in God, then sure. But if you go into the more a being, a God who interacts with humans and so on, then
That's classical
the
theism.
yeah. Well, classical theism has more to do with Thomism and Aristotelian ideas, because most Thomists would be classical theists.
Yeah.
Some necessary being, necessary. Well, again, if this being or cause is personal, then you have a being. You won't have a maximum great being, sure, I'll grant you that, but I still don't see. I don't see how that would be consistent with atheism.
I don't either.
Yeah, granting the Kalam, but you're not going to grant the Kalam anyway. I don't imagine.
Yeah.
Wonder why you don't hold to the fine tuning argument anymore. Everything biblical. Uh, Anything else?
Well, even Steve said the Calum is logically sound. So
I mean, yeah. I mean, personally, I'm like, I'm all for the fine tuning argument.
I don't think Steve would probably say it's valid. I don't think he would say it's sound.
Oh yeah, he says it's valid but not sound.
Yeah, because sound would say it's true,
Yeah,
that the
valid.
premises are true. I don't even think he holds the causality when I've listened to him talk about before. So
He says some models of quantum mechanics makes the whole universe having a beginning sound meaningless,
yeah,
which I mean is true. Like, although most physicists still do believe in causality, they just might believe in like backwards causality, or you might call it retro causality. So I mean, there are like it's not like it's an open and shut case like where if you accept quantum mechanics you have to deny causality. No.
yeah.
but yeah, well,
Well,
name one physicist that says quantum
I would
mechanics
ask.
is eternal, though.
Well, if you say it's eternal, then
But I don't know of any physicists that say that, though. So you have to go.
well, I don't think they do.
like 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 the consensus really I've seen on it is that the universe is finite, like it's probably finite, but not definitely sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's what we can say about any theory, like because science mainly deals with induction.
Yeah.
We do have mathematical theorems out there that show it did have a beginning, though. Gordon and Guth.
Yeah. Blanken theorem.
Yes, I mean,
So
I
it's
think
pretty
it's
hard to
just,
refute.
I mean, it's difficult to imagine like a past eternal universe when you just think of the problem of infinity in general.
Yeah.
And it still works even if on B theory of time. I went into it in one of my videos on it.
Yeah, well, no one subscribed to your channel anyway.
JMD doesn't like that word infinity, though.
Mhm.
Well, if you mean an actual infinite, well, what you mean? I mean it's a word. What do you mean? I don't like the word infinity.
Like you don't subscribe to it in philosophy. You're
Well,
you
I don't.
the
I don't.
hotel thing or whatever with.
Oh yeah, I don't. That doesn't mean I don't like the concept.
No, I mean you know what I mean. Like you
Oh
don't.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you might believe in a potential infinite.
Yeah, like if we say God is omniscient, He knows all propositions.
Well, no, like a
That
potential
would be
infinite would be like,
yeah, no, I know. I wouldn't say like someone could maybe object to God being omniscient and saying, well, does God know an actual infinite of propositions? And you could say, well, He knows a potential infinite because when you start listing all the propositions, and perhaps there's a certain number of propositions that's just really huge with all knowledge.
yeah.
But I'm a theist anyway, so what do I know?
Well, so am I, and so is praise.
You're a determined communist. What I used to say used to make fun of that.
Oh, a determinist.
Yeah, you're determined communist, evolutionist.
I'm not a communist. I'm a libertarian.
Oh, so you believe in libertarian free will?
Like, I mean, well, here's what's funny, like about that. Like, they actually did have, like in history, they did actually have Calvinist, like movements called Calvinist libertarians. So I mean, it's not like it's I don't know how really I haven't read as much as I would like to into that, but it does seem like they had some negotiations with free will and stuff with it.
Yeah.
But basically, you know, I just hate the government.
That's nice. Well, yeah. Would you say we still need some form of government for borders?
I'm sort of mixed on borders. I mean, I really think how we have it nowadays pretty much sucks. I think we need to have something that's um I mean, ultimately I would love to have a day where we can just have an open border system. I just don't think
Yeah,
we can have that right now.
yeah, I would be skeptical of that at any time in the future.
Well, I gotta go, guys.
You
I appreciate
Yeah,
it. While you're
I
Jamie, I
I
enjoyed
think
it.
I'm going. Oh, yeah. Thanks for coming on. I think I'm going to end the stream here soon because not too many people were coming on. This was sort of short notice and late, I guess, and everyone else are doing live streams.
All right.
DA
Well, yeah.
Deflating Atheism. He was doing a red pill live stream, I think.
Later.
All right. We can stop now and stuff.
Let me see if there's anyone else in the chat who might want to come on. I need to pull that up because, oh my goodness, dude, you're going to get my channel banned for things I had. I'm going to be like Skylar Fiction, who got his channel banned for.
Matt Powell.
Yeah. Yeah, so everything biblical doesn't hold to the fine-tuning argument because of external restrictions. Basically, if God has to fine-tune things, then why does he have to be omnipotent? I hope to deal with that objection in my, maybe this is good motivation to do my dealing with the top 10 objections to the fine-tuning argument because this is one on my list. I just think, honestly, when you take into the argument itself, it's definitely not valid. And it's not sound.
It's not a valid objection because The problem with it is that it assumes that the only thing that makes someone fine tune something is because they're restricted, when in reality they could just be like an artist and just have a preference.
Yeah, then he also says the multiverse might exist, but again, if you hold to God being in control of the universe, you still have to say he's tuning it or designing it in some sense. So it seems like, to be a theist or a Christian, you have to accept that argument to some extent. Maybe not in the way it's formulated, but yeah.
I mean, you also have to consider the fact, like, I mean, there has been Christian philosophers where they brought up the idea of a multiverse, and they would say, like, a maximally great God would have.
You cut out again. Oh, your audio is shot. Like, I can hear like 5% of what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Braster. But yeah, you could just say, well, the fine tuning. Well, I think just the multiverse just pushes it back, because then you can just ask, well, what is creating these? What is so good? Now you can say God creates all the universes. It's just like, okay. But if there's a multiverse generator that is made up of parts and so on, then you can just ask, well, what fine-tune that to create universes? Because obviously there has to be set parameters for it to create universes and so on.
Yeah, because
there you go.
Yeah, because the universe would have to be, it's like the multiverse itself would have to be finely tuned, because whatever is generating these universes would have to be fine tuned in such a way to allow life.
Yeah,
in any universe.
I agree.
So it'd be a stupid argument either way.
Eternal inflation. What, inflation? Wouldn't that just be the universe expanding or something?
Could be.
Off the top of my head. Yeah. Like a year ago when I did my column, I had all this stuff on top of my head. If I put up my articles and other sources, I would probably be able to deal. Because, like in Reasonable Faith, Craig, in his Existence for God chapters, he dedicates like half of the first chapter to the column, because that's his dissertation, so that's the most he knows about, and like 4 pages to the ontological argument.
Yeah.
I think I agree with IP, and I mean, for just the general debates with the general audience, I agree that his moral argument is fine. But when you get when you deal with more detailed objections, I think you need to approach it like IP does, with a defense of moral realism.
Yeah. I like IP's version of the argument better than Craig.
Yeah.
Because I believe like it makes more like it's structured better with IPs.
Yeah, because a lot of the premises, if you just defend that, then some atheist objectors are going to ask questions that are literally addressed in the premises.
Like,
but,
literally.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. I know where you're going with that. IP. I think he, in his moral argument, has like 7 premises, I think, or in conclusion. I think he basically just argues you need like a rational explanation for moral realism. Then he defends moral realism with like intuition in defense of that.
Yeah. He argues for like intuition.
Yeah. Which would be immediate knowledge, not a gut feeling. Intuition seems to be more like a priori reasoning.
Yeah. Yes. Trying to think of something. So I mean, yeah, I'm still working on this little script I'm doing for this video on Armin Navabi from Atheist Republic. It should turn out pretty good.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. It's a little 7-minute clip, so it's probably not going to be that long of a video.
Yeah. Oh, did you say a 7-minute clip and it's going to be a long video?
No, I said it's a 7-minute clip, so it probably won't be a long video.
Oh, okay. But if everything needs a cause, and boom, it's not relevant to the topic, if I recall it pieces.
Well, I mean, basically, Armin will just keep making the same argument over and over again, like how, well, I went into college and I talked to people about God and I made them skeptical. I'm like, okay, and
I don't know. I think my brain is done, even if it's been done because I'm a theist. But
well, yeah, and you're petty.
yes, exactly. Oh, did you see my second part to the 1,000 subscriber special, responding to atheist comments on YouTube videos?
I seen part of it.
Did you
Thought it
see
was
the part where I claim victory in my debate with IP?
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that with your debate with IP.
You didn't see the Devil's Advocate debate?
I did see a bit of it.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you didn't for a second. I was like, what?
I did see a bit of it. I remember it was funny because I remember you put the fedora hat on and everything.
Yeah. Oh, I can't do that right now because I have headphones in. Or I could wear it over my headphones because it would look even more stupid. I don't have my good.
Do you even have a good camera anyway?
Yeah, I do. I feel like an atheist would wear their fedora over top their headphones,
While drinking a Mountain Dew.
or in this case, orange vanilla Coke, which is empty.
I got me like a white fedora hat. I actually have a picture of me where I'm tipping it.
Well, this was my favorite. Even though I have a bunch of sticky notes on here. I literally taped this to my iPad, and I had a Dawkins quote, and I was just like, so there are 3,000 gods you could believe in. Anyway. Texas style. Oh, I almost said Texas style P is better. No, Texas style peace tea is better. I'll just be reading something, and then I just completely, my brain literally picks something for me to read it as, and it's just like, oh, that's definitely not what I want. It's definitely not correct, and it's definitely not what I want to read it as.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm gonna go, man. My phone's dying.
Yeah, I gotcha. Even though you could plug it in, not messing with you.
I'm plugging my other phone in right now.
You don't have a portable charger?
I have two. I have two phones and only one charger.
What kind of deist are you? What kind of theist are you?
A broke one. All right. Well, it was nice to be on, man.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yep. Talk to you later. Oh, okay, you left. Yeah, I'm going to end it here soon. Coffee Smug. I have a Discord page if you want to go to it. It's in chat. Or it's in the description. See, my brain is so gone right now. I can't even get. See, I can't even express right now how I can't express things. But it's getting to that time. So yes, I'm a broken theist. Obviously, I mean the fact I do apologetics in the first place seems to imply that. Because I'm just out for a quick Discord. Changed my life forever. I might even ask last time, but forgot. Yeah, if you have any last minute questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability. But I can't promise anything. I can't promise a special answer at this time. Oh, yeah, probably not anytime soon. Shalom. Is it really? I set the link. Yep. Okay, then maybe that's why, if maybe some people want to come on. Okay, give me a second. I'll put one in. I don't know why it does that, because I set it to Oh, okay. Well, I forgot. I thought the edit was permanent, where you set it to never expiring, but I guess I have to fix that. What just happened to my YouTube chat? That is weird. Maybe I subconsciously closed out. Give me a second. I'm going to put it in the chat here. Wow, this is taking forever to load. You may hear my voice here. Yep. Pause. Okay. Okay. Jeez. Good last minute question. How do you reconcile God's sovereignty with free will? I'm a monist, so I say God knows what any free creature would do in any given circumstance. And that is compatible with the principle of alternative possibilities, because if you were to do otherwise, then God would know otherwise. Yeah, if you say God literally controls everything, then I think we just have... I think God has ultimate control, but does that mean he has to control everything? Because then you have to say he controls evil, and there's no secondary causes with that. So I would probably just disagree on the definition of sovereignty. Okay, that should be a good link there. Because I'm also not a Calvinist, so I'm more towards traditional theology on soteriology, but a monist philosophically speaking. Okay, cool. So, good last minute question at almost 11 o'clock my time. Okay, thank you for watching, everyone. If you want to support the channel, I'm getting to the point where if I get more support, more content will be put out. Because having to work a full-time job and so on. Yeah, if you want to support me on Patreon, there's a link in the description, or if you want to check out the store, you can support the ministry that way. There are Discord benefits and stuff. If you've seen my past videos, you get shout-outs, and content is shared if you're a content producer. But if you aren't able to, then no problem. The fact that you're watching and probably left a like shows your support anyway, so thank you for that. Christian truth needs to be spread through apologetics, and God bless.